I applied and got the job and really got to know the business from the inside out. And that's really what led me to, to continue to pursue the next level. It was always about pursuing the next level.
Awesome. So it's kind of like, I mean, not to make light of it, but it's like my man Louis Anderson, he was like, I started on lettuce, moved to fries, and the next thing you know, he running the show.
And that's when the big bucks start rolling.
The big bucks start rolling in. And to be honest, man, it's the truth though.
You want the latest news and the greatest views, tune into the Central Podcast, the one of my favorite crews, because the entrepreneurs who grew up together, now they created this show to make the community better. Speaking on being leaders, strong husbands and fathers, role models for our sons and our daughters, to business ownership. Like forget a building, you could own the strip. The squad holding it down as Jay Norris with C. Nick, Tyrell and B. Hicks. So what y'all want to hear about? Like Hail Marys, they gonna air it out. So kick back and listen, they gonna set it, man. You're gonna be enlightened, and that's on everything. That's on everything. That's on everything. They are here to heal the people like Dr. Sebi, man. That's on everything. They celebrate success, so raise a toast with them and watch the confetti rain. That's on everything. 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 That's on
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of That's on Everything podcast. Here to give you everything that you need and none that you don't. And that's on everything.
That's on everything.
What up?
Word up. Word up. I'm C. Nick, joined by Tyrell B. Hicks and Jay No in the building.
Yes, sir.
We here.
Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Wherever you are, making us a part of y'all day. We really appreciate that. We got a great episode today. We're going to be talking about the business. That Jay No say, the business.
Yes, sir.
Because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Man, we got the boy Tyrell Reed, the restaurant owner, the business extraordinaire, the business coach. This man out here building leaders, helping owners make more money, more profit, So that's what we want to talk about today. Business leadership, franchising, this man's world. He's an SME. So if you're looking to get into the game, if you're looking to get into franchising, you want to learn about being a leader, you need to get your pens and your paper out, buckle up your seatbelts, because we're about to take you on a fantastic voyage with the boy T. Reed.
No doubt.
Like Snoop said, we about to get funky on the mic like an old bag of collard greens. You feel me?
Right.
Whoa. Oh. Hey, here it is. There it is. Hey, before we do that, like I said, get your pens and your paper out. But we're going to go around the horn real quick and check in with our people and see what's popping. So let's start with my boy B. Hicks up in the MI. What's good with you?
What's going on, folks? What's going on, man? Thanks for once again tuning in, like CeeLo said, man. Nothing really popping in the MI, man. Just busy. Trying to wrap up the school year. Love fella, his last day is today. So the wife's heartstrings are being pulled right now because he's growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want him to leave. So she's kind of an emotional wreck right now. But it's all good, right? We've already done this. And then my daughter, like where we attend school, school goes K through 4, then they go 5, 6, and then 7, 8, and then high school. So she's in her feels about that, like, oh, she's leaving this school. I'm like, yo, they're gonna keep going up, baby, like every day.
It's the transition.
Yeah. So yeah, we're really excited that the school year is over. I'm gonna get some quality time in with the fam. And on the business side, we're doing well, man. We closed on one last week. Really excited about that one. We're starting to flip on Wednesday of next week. We close on that. So nice way to kind of close out the first half of the year or close to the first half of the year for me. So I'm excited.
Word up. So Jay, no, let's check in, baby. What's going on in the Dirty South?
Man, nothing much to it, man. Officially on dad duty. My wife went out of town, you know what I'm saying, for a class reunion over in Cali. So it's me and baby girl. She actually did her what they don't call it graduation. They call it a promotion parade. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So because she's in a Montessori program, so they don't do like first grade, second grade, third grade. They do, 3 to 6. You graduate from 3 to 6, so you have the same teacher for 3 years.
Oh wow!
In the same class, and like the
Consistency.
older students help the younger students migrate around the classroom where they're like stations. So it's like somebody's house or a kitchen. Ain't no desks. So I thought that was pretty dope, just the way they got that set up. So she graduated from 3 to 6. Now she's going to 6 to 9. And so technically that is first grade, but that's what they call it. So I'm excited about it. Yeah, man. So she's went straight from the parade to summer camp because we ain't taking no breaks. You know what I mean? Yes,
Word
indeed.
up. I love it. All right, cool. I'm gonna chime in next, and then we'll end with Tyrell so we can get it going. Yeah, it's been a crazy week, man. Smiles and frowns, a lot of ups and downs. As y'all saw here in Texas, there was a tragedy in Uvalde. So, prayers and thoughts out to the family. And it's sad that we got to keep saying that because, in my humble opinion, we need policy change and we need change, period. So, hopefully, something comes of this tragedy because it's just terrible to look up and see that. And I think that hit home for all of us. The fact that we have school-aged children. Yeah, it just hit a little different, man. So your boy definitely, shed a tear, was very hurt. I don't know if y'all saw Steve Kerr at the press conference, but he had a good piece on how he felt and what needs to happen at Congress. But we'll see how that goes. It's very heartbreaking, being in Texas and waking up and seeing that stuff. So it hit close to home. So I'm just glad that that my kids, haven't had to experience that. But my heart goes out to those families, man. It's just a tragedy. So,
yeah.
On a lighter note, let's go to Corey's Corner. Real quick, I'm gonna hit y'all with something old and something new. Actually, my boy Snoop Dogg. I don't know if y'all know, but Snoop owns Death Row. I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm very excited for Snoop, but at the same time, very upset. This dude has literally pulled off all the classic Death Row music. Like if you go try to pull up Nothing But a G Thing on iTunes, no sir, gone.
What?
It's gone. It's not on it.
Whoa, what is he doing?
I don't know what the strategy is yet. If it's
He
going
about
to
to
the
pull a Kanye
metaverse,
power move, man.
I don't know
drop
what he's
his own
doing.
platform somewhere.
Yup.
So it's like it's a lot of his music available, but then like even his first album has been removed. So because I had a whole playlist of Snoop Dogg, and that joint has been corrupted. Let's just say that. But he did drop a new song called "Touch Away." What I love about Snoop, he's one of my favorite hip hop artists. Is he always kind of got that old soul? So like he always dropping like good samples. So yeah, check that Touch Away out. It's a good mix of some old and some new. It's got a nice little sample to the game. So check that out. If you love hip hop, you love Snoop, you're gonna love that. On the R&B tip, I got just like a single for y'all. This cat, you probably haven't heard of him, Xavier Omar, but he got this cut called Feelings for You, pure R&B, talking about how you love you, how you feel for you. So check that out because it's good. It's good for your soul. On the old school tip, I would definitely recommend you pumping that Send It To You by D'Angelo, because that mug been pumping hard for your boy this week, son. And that mug will take you away.
It came out of nowhere, dude. It popped up in my Spotify, and that whole CD has been getting a lot of play.
Man, that's wintertime music, though. What y'all doing?
That's summertime music. Woo, man, that made me roll the windows down in 90-degree heat. Because I want everybody to feel what I'm feeling. Send it up, send it to you. Like, yeah, you see that? You need to get that, Jen. But yeah, man, that's all I got. That's what's popping in Texas. We're going to move it down to South Florida, man. What's going on with your boy, Tyrell?
Hey man, just really just happy to be here. Like you said, with all the news this week and the tragedies, and it's just happening too much. You know, we talked about it with the kids because they came home with questions because they'd heard about it from some of their friends, and it's just, the conversations that you never want to have with the little ones. But they were really mature about it. They asked questions. They just tried to understand, all the things that we're asking too, why this happens.
Yeah.
What can we do, and how can we be, just better prepared and aware. So um it forces the little ones to grow up a little too fast, in my opinion. We taking a little bit of innocence away from them when we have to do that, but we have to do it because we send them out of here every single day.
Right.
And
Correct.
and we trust in all of these folks, and all of these systems in place to bring our kids back home safely. So heart goes out to all of the families in Texas. We know we've had the same thing happen in Michigan. We've had it happen in Florida. We've had it happen in Buffalo. So it's just like it's too much. It's
Too much.
heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Um, so a lot of that, finishing up school with the kids. Today's the last day, so getting ready for summer camp, basketball in the summer, a couple of trips planned. So we're just really, really ready to enjoy that, mixed in between all of the work that's going on.
Sprinkle some fun in there, right?
Yeah, because the work doesn't stop. It's a busy time for us. So had a good rally with my Florida team yesterday, actually. Getting them excited and pumped up. We just about to finish Q2 here real soon. So we're just preparing and talking about what the rest of the year is going to look like for us, with some new store openings and new people coming on board. So staying on the same page, really just making sure we're all ready for what's ahead of us.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, look, let's get into it. And Tyrell, we want to kind of start with the origin real quick. Maybe you can give us some background. We know that you're, in the restaurant game, in the franchise game, business leader, business coach. But let's just talk about real quick, how you got started and why you chose the restaurant business.
Man, I got started really because I needed a job. More than anything. When I moved to Florida, I was looking for somewhere to work. I never imagined myself as a restaurant owner, or even growing a career in this industry to to become an executive, or and a coach now, like I do. But I needed a job, and they were hiring. They had a pizza box in the window. This spot, West Shore Pizza over in Riverview, had a pizza box in the window. I could walk there. I didn't have a car. So I applied and got the job, and really got to know the business from the inside out. And that's really what led me to to continue to pursue the next level. It was always about pursuing the next level.
Awesome. So it's kind of like, I mean, not to make light of it, but it's like my man Louis Anderson. He was like, I started on lettuce, moved to fries, and the next thing you know, he running the show.
That's when the big
And
bucks
that's
start
when
rolling.
the big bucks start rolling in. And to be honest, man, it's the truth though. I mean, you learn it, you get opportunities, you say yes to things. That's something that I'm big on, is saying yes to challenges and opportunities. And there's always a little bit of growth out of that. I'm probably one of those lucky folks that just stuck with it and made something out of it. But it has changed a lot for me, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be a sports agent. Then I thought I was going to be an engineer. I was in school, and it turned out that this was my path.
Word up, word up. But I mean, yeah, that speaks volumes, because it's like you said, you took an opportunity, and whatever you were doing, you became the best at it. You know what I'm saying? And learned the business inside and out. Now you leading the business, and you developing other business leaders and franchises. So that's dope, man. I saw you post something interesting on your page. I think it was coming out of the workshop that I wanted to ask you about, because I know you talk about, not just jumping out in the fire and, owning a business, but in terms of franchising itself, it seems like a lot of people think about the restaurant business when they think about franchising. That seems to be the anchor of it. Now, it seems to be a safe. Would you say it's a safer bet going into franchising over a mom and pop like small business?
I would say depending on the type of business you choose to go into. For a restaurant, I would say 100%. You got a better chance of being successful by buying a franchise or getting into a franchise business versus going out on your own, because of the time that it saves you and the investment that it saves you from building a new brand. The restaurant business is heavily driven on people and on customers and climate. So you have to be able to navigate those things, not just show up, cook good food, and expect that it's going to be successful. There's so many other factors that go into it. Now, with other businesses, and I think you're talking about something that I talked about coming out of. I was actually at a franchise show last weekend, and I was really surprised to see how many different industries are franchising now. So there are different types of franchise businesses to get into, whether you like to get into insurance, or you like to get into, doing flooring, or you want to have a gravel business or a coffee business. There's a lot of different brands that you can, partner with as a franchisee that will help you, learn the game and, mitigate some of the challenges when it comes to starting a new business, because it's hard. No matter what business you start, it's going to be tough.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly what I was talking about. So I heard you say that the franchise business has 75% greater chance at success than an independent small business. So it was like you said,
Wow.
somebody wanted to get into the game. Do you want to do the mom and pop, or do you want to buy into a brand, whether it be restaurant or something else, that has a higher chance of success? Well, let me ask you this too, because I think a lot of people, like even myself, I pull up to McDonald's or whatever it may be, and I'm like, man, they in there slinging, dog. Like, how can I get one? Like, but is that the right mindset, thinking that, oh, if I go buy the Chick-fil-A boy or the McDonald's, I'm good.
Well, you could probably get a McDonald's a little cheaper though, can't you?
My buns have no seeds. That McDowell's might be worth a little bit more.
Right.
Low key, yeah.
I get it, man. I get people that look at that. They say it to me all the time, like, man, it must be nice to do that, or it looks like, you killing it over there. And I would tell you that is the result of a lot of things going right. And McDonald's they're a powerhouse. So they have a brand that has been tested for generations at this point. It is and it's not necessarily all that easy to say, I want it, I'm gonna do it. I think that's the misconception with franchising is, people think that if you have money, you can do this. And the restaurant business, I would tell anybody, if you got money and you're looking for an investment, you're looking for something to just, you're about to retire, you're looking to generate some cash in retirement, you want a nice return, the restaurant business is probably not the right business for you. And even though my business is in teaching and coaching folks to be successful in this, I would try to stop people before they even got to that point, because it is a business that you buy to operate and run, not to invest in it and reap the returns. Now, returns come, and they come, at a high rate when you're doing it right, but it takes time to get to that point.
So so like you say, if you're looking for just straight passive income at 32 years old, it's probably
the restaurant business is not passive income. By no means. This is be attentive to what you're doing all day, every day. Even on you're on vacation, you still checking messages. You doing something. Go ahead, Jay. What's up?
No, so you bring up a valid point, and so I used to work with Ecolab, so I used to service a lot of QSR restaurants, and I noticed that, like, with Chick-fil-A, like, their system is totally different. You know what I'm saying? You go in there and you see like a million people, right? You know what I'm saying? I remember going back in the kitchen. He was like, one dude, he was squeezing the lemons for the lemonade. He was like, man, as soon as I finish these lemons, I'm off. I was like, you ain't got nothing else to do? And he was like, nah, I came in just to squeeze the lemonade. He was like, and that's it. So
Yeah.
it's like it's so
Wow.
internally focused. Like one person like passing you the drink, one person taking the money, one person. So now I also hear, maybe you can correct this, is like with the franchisees or the owner operators, that the max they can have is like 3 restaurants, and you got to be, and that's very rare. But for the most part, like if you have 1 or 2, they have to be in the vicinity where you live, where you can actually get to the restaurant, because they're constantly working in a restaurant. So does that, because the owner operators are constantly in their restaurants, does that make it, make it more successful opposed to like other franchisees?
I would say absolutely yes. And their motto is beautiful in that way because it forces you to be 100% involved and engaged in the business. And what a lot of people don't understand and know about Chick-fil-A is that you don't actually own that franchise. You are a managing partner or operating partner, and you earn a, a good deal of the profit from doing that, and you can make some good money. I mean, some real good money, but you'll never actually own that. So Chick-fil-A has a beautiful system that puts operators in control of their businesses. And you can't just do it. You can't just show up with a check, because everybody talks about the $10,000. It's just a $10,000, fee to get into Chick-fil-A. That's all it takes. That's all the startup costs, because they front everything. They build the building. They get all the equipment. They do all of it. But when I tell you their process is highly selective, you have to you have to be the right person. You have to fit their culture. You need to have some experience in the industry. It's not just you show up with a check and you can get it, because I see four of us right now that would take $10,000 to a Chick-fil-A right now if it was that easy.
Let me get all 3 of mine.
Right.
Oh, a tree.
Yeah, how many can I get? So it's their motto is beautiful, but that and they're super successful because they've been able to keep a tight rein on the operations of that business. Franchising can get out of hand when you give up. So for people to understand, franchising is allowing somebody to use your images, your name, your company, your logos, really build off of your brand in their individual business. So, but you give up a little bit of control as a franchisor when you give these people, the opportunity to use your name and use your brand. So, things can get out of whack. We used to talk about it all the time when we were, back in the day when I was building an operations manual for West Shore. The guy that I was working with, he used to say, T, we got to write this so that the people in Omaha can do it, because you're not going to be in Omaha, but you got to make it so crystal clear that they can understand it. From your office here in Tampa, Florida, to these folks in Omaha, Nebraska, who've never seen what we're doing here today. They need to be able to read this and understand it, and that takes a lot.
Yeah, I had a Chick-fil-A owner tell me that you have better odds of getting drafted by the NFL than becoming a Chick-fil-A owner.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
For
Wow.
sure.
he said that's how selective they are. Like the odds are that tight.
So imagine if you're Chick-fil-A and you have however many thousands of people that want to join your system every single day. The applications are probably coming in nonstop from people who learn this, or some casual investor that wants to be a millionaire, right? But you also have a whole pipeline of people who have been developed internally who would probably be a better fit to run that business, because they've already seen it, they've already been doing it. That makes the process even more selective. So I'm sure there's some strategic partnerships in there with the right people owning Chick-fil-A's in the right areas. But this business it's a small world. A lot of folks know each other. Everybody knows everybody when you're moving around doing this. So
Does that
the
mean
everyday
get some
guy's probably
feedback?
not getting on. Yeah, I hear a little bit of feedback over there somewhere. Oh yeah, there it was.
Yeah, that's you,
We good
CeeLo.
though. Yeah, but yeah, man. So
Must have been
highly
me.
selective process, and but just like getting drafted into the NFL, if you are selected and you can get through their process and their training, you do have you know a high, a very it's highly likely that you're going to be successful.
Let me ask you this then, man. So I was listening to, and to take it to another franchise, I was listening to How I Built This and listening to the CEO of Raising Cane's, which is birthed in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yep. Similar to Chick-fil-A model too.
Similar. So my question is, because his thing was everybody was telling him when he first started his deal, he just wanted to do chicken fingers, coleslaw, fries, and Texas toast. And they was like, bro, that ain't never gonna work. You need to offer more. Because he was like, during that time, everybody was doing like salads, they offering shakes, it was just a whole bunch of stuff. So what's your take on a model like Raising Cane's, which I think is like the second behind Chick-fil-A as most successful franchisees currently, and a brand like, say, a McDonald's or even like a Cheesecake Factory? They got like a million things on their joint.
Jack in the Box, the boy got all of it.
Yeah, they got tacos, burgers, French fries, pizza. So what's your thought process as it relates to just niching down, or just having a little bit of something for everybody to get down with at a restaurant?
So I think it can work both ways, and I got a lot of respect for Cane's too. Their motto is very similar to Chick-fil-A, where they bring on operating partners or managing partners, give them a piece of the pie to come in and give all their attention to a business. They were like, kind of like I mentioned before, where you start to franchise and you give people a piece of your business, or you give them control over their own, and things got out of whack. I don't know if y'all seen The Founder, but remember when Ray Kroc visited some of those restaurants, and they were selling chicken,
fried chicken,
weren't looking good, and all of that. It got out of control, right? From what I understand about Cane's, the same thing happened with them, and they immediately stopped selling franchises. They changed their motto. It wasn't about selling a franchise. It became about expanding the brand and maintaining control. So because he had that vision, and he had an idea of what he wanted it to look like, he was able to, keep that control and grow it the way they wanted. Now, some brands, and honestly, it really depends on who your customer is. Some brands can be very successful with a variety, or even a menu that changes day to day or week to week. I've seen it happen a lot of different ways. It's really just about who you're servicing and what those needs are. A lot of brands evolved to what they are now. And I love Guy Raz too, listening to How I Built This, but like Panera Bread, which now is an iteration of what used to be St. Louis Bagel Company, and then they started to add sandwiches, and later became Panera Bread, and what we see now. But they started out as just a bagel brand.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your take on? I mean, we see a lot of food trucks versus brick and mortar locations. So, would you give the same advice to someone that wants to open a food truck versus getting into the franchise game and having a brick and mortar location? Do you feel like they're safer, or do you feel like it's a better entry point? What's your advice for somebody that's thinking about maybe starting with the food truck first?
So, as a starting point, for someone who hasn't done it before, if you've never owned a restaurant, you've never been in that world, I would definitely say that the food truck is probably a safer starting point. Definitely, less expensive in the way of startup costs. There's less exposure with just having a truck and insurance and just a couple of people. You're probably safer there to really get into the business and start to learn how to serve a customer and how to build a team and how to navigate suppliers and hiring challenges and HR nightmares and all of the things that come along with running a business.
Yeah.
Because the other side of it is, you have a greater chance of success in a franchise business, but let's be for real, most restaurants fail. Even though your chances are higher, your chances of success are greater with a franchise model, it's still a business where a lot of folks aren't making it. And what gets scary is you start putting your name on these commercial leases, and you're guaranteeing something for 5 years or 10 years, 20 years to get the price down. You on the hook for that. And that's scary. It's going to cost you some money. You need to be ready for that.
So let me ask you this, bro. So that's kind of one of my passions, right? Is barbecuing. Um, but when I see a food truck, I'm looking at it like, man, why don't you just open a restaurant? Do you sometimes think it's just a strategic move that's being made versus, I mean, your food ain't good enough to be in a big store. That's why you, you know what I mean? Because some of the best food, in my opinion, comes off of a food truck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's
And
looked at as, well, why not just open a restaurant?
yeah, so because it's expensive to open a restaurant, extremely expensive, or extremely risky in the way of exposure if you're taking, lines of credit or, setting up accounts with some of these folks, or you're doing these things. It's very expensive, and there's a high degree of exposure. A restaurant is a long-term commitment. So if you're just trying it, it's probably not the way to go. You know what I mean? If it's not going to be your full-time passion, it's probably too risky. A food truck is less risky. It lets you, remain flexible, remain nimble, and you can adapt. And I would tell folks, if you're a good cook and you make great food, sell your food to the folks. Keep your business as simple as you can, even if you're selling them out the house, or you're doing like a share kitchen kind of deal. These ghost kitchens or virtual kitchens. There's so many different ways for you to get your product out there, to see what the customers are talking about and how they receive it. Because what's good to us isn't doesn't mean it's going to be great for everybody, or that people are going to buy it and pay you a premium price for it, or that suppliers are always going to have the products that you need to execute this on a large scale. So you need to test that out, and I would find just the most simple path to that, possibly before you get locked into to a restaurant, to a brick and mortar.
So what's the what do you think like the cost is like for like a food truck, like compared to a restaurant? And I know you've given us some numbers before, but in comparison, if I just wanted to start a food truck, buy the truck, get it all, fabricated and what have you, get the supplies and stuff in there, like what's a cost for that, you think?
So, I mean, to build your own food truck is going to be a little bit more expensive, because you're dealing with some custom stuff and you're going to buy new equipment. I would tell you, if you wanted to do it, go find somebody who failed and buy their food truck, because you're going to get it for pennies on the dollar. But a new food truck is probably going to cost you, depending on the nature of your operation, like what kind of equipment you need. If you need a smoker, if you need a grill, if you need a pizza oven, all those prices of equipment are a little bit different. But I would expect to put anywhere from 75 to 150,000 into a food truck, a nice food truck.
So yeah, we're
Now,
gonna stick with the used one then.
But somebody that paid 75, didn't love it, couldn't figure it out, couldn't get it going, couldn't find events to get to, they probably selling that food truck for whatever you give it. Like, that you probably go pick one up for 30 grand. You know what I mean? And then you in business.
It was funny, man, because not too long ago I had a opportunity to buy a pizza shop, and Tyrell happened to be in town, so we shot up and walked through, and I'm counting money as I walk through the door, like, okay, I'm here, and this dude has no excitement. I'm like, yo, seriously? Zero. You know what I mean? And we walk through, and we finish it. We get in the car, and he's like, man, don't buy that. I was like, yo, it's a good deal. Like, everything's good. He's like, yeah, man, don't buy that stuff. And he ran it all down to me. And so I'm sitting back like a kid, you know how you want to buy your first car, it's $800, and you got $800. But you ain't got no insurance on it, you ain't got no registration. So no, I definitely get it. And when he broke and like, to buy the building and to buy in, we could have easily afforded it. But he's like, B, this building is 35, 40 minutes away from you, right? You're buying a job. So on a Saturday night, when it's at its highest and half your staff calls in, what are you going to do? I'm not going to buy the building, because it sounds like it's another job. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes sense what you're saying, especially from my end, because if you look at the numbers and then you subtract all of what you're going to have, then the headache and stuff like that, it's like, man, it doesn't make any sense. So It what's the best way to say this? Being able to look at the business and know if it's going to fail right off the bat, or if it's going to be work right off the bat, or if it's going to be a passive income, like that's huge, because I would have bought another job,
Yeah.
and that's not okay. You know what I mean? Or I could have got a food truck, and like you said, I mean, if they're doing something at the riverfront, I go there today if I feel like it, versus being obligated 100% on a 5-year lease. You know what I mean? That 1.2 mil, I have to pay that out.
You on the hook.
You on the hook, and it's your name. Even if you put your LLC's name on there, they're like, okay, we need a personal guarantor on here too, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, especially if it's your first time.
Yeah.
So, and I remember that, Bruce, and that was a good walk. And I remember asking you one specific question: who do you have that you can trust that's gonna live here? You know what I mean? Because being a cook and loving to be in the kitchen and busting out these fire plates, that's one thing, but running a business is totally different. And you have to really accept the fact that, I learned it a long time ago from my mentor, Bob, that we might sell pizzas, we might sell tacos, we might sell whatever, but the business we're in is the people business. And you have to be passionate about building and establishing, long-term business relationships, and then growing a business from that point. That's what it's about. And there was just a lot of opportunities, and I've come up tremendously on that acquisition model, where we find businesses that are for sale, they're failing, and they all fail for one reason or another, but being able to assess that and then turn it into something that is valuable to us. So, and it doesn't always work, but I've done it enough times to see, look, hey, we got X amount of dollars in repairs that you're looking at. You got, you're going to have to turn over a whole staff to make this work. There's a cost to that. And you're going to have to spend this amount of time, months or years, to really regain the confidence of the community. So, and that's going to cost you some money. So,
Which is everything you
I told you don't do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, he was like, hey, you see the staff? He was like, she got on flip-flops. Like, you're in a restaurant with flip-flops on. That's a problem right there. You see that cooler right there? You see that condensate? I'm like, wow. So even if I was going to buy it, he was like, yo, you need to offer significantly less on this. This is a failing business. And as we kept talking, and that's what he hit, he was like, and their reputation, I'm sure, is tainted. That's why he's selling it, because of the staff. So it everything that looks like gold ain't gold. Sometimes it's yellow plated. Sometimes it's just shiny. Because, man, I'm looking at the numbers thinking, you mean to tell me making another $150,000 a year is not where it's at? He's like, not if you're putting out $200,000.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Word up. And see, I love that saying that you always drop on us. All business is people business. That's deep.
Yeah, you take care of people, they're going to take care of you.
There it is. That's the other one I love right there. I was hoping you was gonna say that. And I want to pivot to that. Like I said, we're talking to Tyrell Reed, senior that is, restaurant owner and business coach, and he has his own business leadership program where he can teach you how to do this. So I want to get into the leadership part and talk about your leadership program a little bit. But before we do that, let's unpack real quick for the people. I'm gonna hit you with a pop quiz. Because you a leader, right?
Here we go.
Let me ask you a couple questions. Y'all ready, son? I hope the Reed boys is listening. So let me ask you something. First of all, what's your last name, sir?
Reed, baby.
And what do Reeds do?
Reeds read. I heard that.
And readers are what?
Readers are leaders. That's right.
Word. Okay. What makes a leader?
Confidence.
And what's confidence, sir?
Confidence is believing in yourself.
What else makes a leader?
Integrity.
And what is integrity for the people?
Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna love this.
That boy right.
And what
that
else?
boy right.
And last but not least, what else do leaders do?
Probably the most important thing: a leader listens to other people but makes decisions for himself.
Can I get a sign?
You listen and you learn and you make your own decisions. That's too funny, man. And for those that don't know, this is something that I do with my kids on the way to school every single morning. They can't stand it but we do it religiously. To the point that even, I'm usually the one leading it, but sometimes one of the other boys will lead it. So no, that's cool. I can't wait to play that for them. They're gonna love it.
That's
Man,
dope,
yeah.
man.
Jay
Your
was about to ask
definition
you
of a
something,
leader.
though.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask. So yeah, keeping with the theme of all business is people business. What have you found? What is one of the main reasons why employees leave an establishment,
I mean,
especially in this light where we have, it's kind of hard to find people to stay, and you had all the stimulus money, and then people weren't working. So, what makes a person actually want to stay?
people stay in my business. People stay when we give them, you know, development. We give them opportunities to grow as an individual. On top of paying them fairly, giving them a great environment to be a part of and a family to really join. People want skills. They want skills that give them life beyond flipping burgers and dropping fries. For me, they want to know how this is going to take them to the next level in their lives. These kids that work for me want to be lawyers, doctors, influencers, artists, like whatever it is. So they come to me and they want to know how this job is going to help them get to that point in their lives. So I say people leave because, and it's a couple of different reasons. The number one reason that people leave is because there's just a conflict with somebody on the job, a leader or another person on the team. But secondly, they leave because they're not being developed and they're not being poured into, or they don't feel like they're part of the company vision. They don't have any a voice. And then the number three reason is money.
Gotcha. And that's funny that the last reason is money, because most people would think that money is going to solve it all, but you were talking about more development, opportunity, and things of that nature. Because if I stroke you a check, but the environment or it's still no opportunity, and that's probably going to fizzle out in a little bit.
Almost every single time I've had to give somebody more money to make them stay, they ended up leaving anyways.
Wow. Okay.
Almost every time. And it still happens. We do it because some people hold you up. They want a couple bucks, but it's not the money. The paycheck is not enough to keep people these days. You need to give them ownership. Not per se ownership in a business, but they need to own their role and own their development.
Word up.
Gotcha. That.
So let's unpack some of that, because I know you cover a lot of different stuff in your program, when it comes to being a leader and what I have to do or what one has to do as a leader. You talked about development. I know you talk a lot about setting standards, taking care of people so people will take care of you. You talked a lot about influence, even the art of communication. So those are some of the things I wanted to unpack real quick for the people so they can get the tidbits. So let's start with development. How do you develop people? How do you get the most out of people?
Oh, for sure. But even before I get into that, I think it's important to explain why I'm passionate about that. So I've been in the restaurant business for about 20 years now, and I've seen businesses that have been incredibly successful, and I've seen businesses that should have been great that failed. And while the failure of a business happens for a number of different reasons, usually related to financial things, the businesses that operate the best and make the most money are the ones that have leaders in place that drive that business. It's probably the most crucial component of a business is who's running that business at the store level. So understanding the importance and the value of leadership at the store level, they're number one in our company. Our org chart is flipped. So the most important people at the top of the org chart are the people who are on at the store level making it happen. That leader in that restaurant has control over us making money and not making money. I'm not the one, flipping the burgers and doing all that. These are the folks that are doing it. So I got to support them. I got to make sure that they have everything that they need to get it done. And what I've learned is that every brand that I've worked with, and I've worked with national brands, a bunch of different brands, they're really good at teaching you all of the technical stuff you need to operate a business day to day. Like they got training programs that's going to teach you how to roll the burrito. They're going to teach you how to stack the burger, how to, even how to mop the floor and do all that. But what we miss is giving folks the soft skills and the leadership skills to develop as a human and as a person, as a man or a woman, to give these kids in this younger generation, the support and development that they need. So you really got to work on that. And that's what I've been passionate about, is teaching those other skills. Like, I'm not going to teach you what your brand can teach you. I'm going to teach you what they don't teach you. And leadership development is a big part of that. So the big things for us are, really based on 3 phases. Routine is everything. So what you do every single day, that's what makes you. So really having success routines as part of your day-to-day life is going to be critical. The second thing is organization is the cheat code. Being organized is like really the way to hack your time, your impact, all of those things. And those are the most important skills to pass on to somebody. And then lastly is communication. Can't fail. People who need to know things got to get the information. It's not about saying things just to have our voice heard. And you see those bosses out there. I talk, there's bosses and there's leaders. You see those bosses that are just barking out orders and, kicking back, feet up, disciplining people. But a leader is somebody who communicates and makes sure that the person that you're communicating with is getting a message, because that's what's most important. It's not just about hearing my own voice. It's about making sure you heard me and you understood me so that you can go act on that.
Absolutely.
So in that capacity, what's more effective in your opinion, corrective actions or disciplinary actions?
Always coaching and correcting on the spot too. Don't wait. You know what I mean? People respond when you go shoulder to shoulder and you can teach them the lesson and you can explain the why. Or, just slapping somebody's wrist for doing something is not going to stop them from doing it again, because they don't really understand what happened. You got to teach, you got to correct things so that you can move forward. That's how you move a business forward.
It kind of reminds me of the song Kingpin on Tommy's album.
Oh, I love that. That's one.
And he was like, "I'll write them up."
They call me Kingpin, boy. I write them up. And Tommy, I love that one. Because, and he was talking in the educational setting, and it works anywhere where you got to lead a team and develop people, he was like, imagine if people was happy to come here. Imagine if somebody was looking forward to come here because they knew that they were going to walk away with more than they came in with. That's how you build a leader.
Facts. Shout out to Dr. Tommy Mabry on that one.
Hey.
Absolutely. Real quick, just unpacking that list again. And you talked a little bit about this in the beginning. I think the founder, was it Roy Kroc for McDonald's?
Ray Kroc. Yeah, Ray Kroc.
Yeah. My bad. Shout out to the GOAT. My bad.
He said Roy Jones Jr.
Corey gonna jack your name up no matter who you is.
Hey, that boy Ray, he doing his thing. But I remember that scene that you talked about. When he pulls up and they got the chicken out there, they got the signs, they got the corn on the cob. You're like, yo, we sell burgers. We have a standard, and that's where my question is. Like, when it comes to standards, is it important to set standards, and how do you enforce them, especially when it comes, in terms of being a leader and with the employees or that brand?
Yeah, well, you got to set standards because we got a responsibility to the customer, especially in the restaurant business. I tell folks all the time, we got one job, and that's not to kill nobody. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? No, for real, because you bring me your money, word means that you're bringing me your trust, that I'm doing the right things behind the closed door to ensure that you're getting the highest quality product. And really, it comes down to a value. You getting what you're paying for, right? And that comes with a lot of trust in the restaurant business. You see that we have a sign up, we got posters, we got decor, we got all this, and it builds in trust to the customer. But if there are no standards behind that door, and the chicken been sitting out, and the floors aren't swept, and the temperatures aren't checked, and the bathroom sweep isn't done, and all of this, I mean, that could kill your business. That could kill an individual. That will kill your reputation, and it will damage the future of those folks that participated in that, because they don't know how to go do it the right way going forward.
Yeah,
you got to have standards, and if you don't have, and there's no point in having standards if you don't enforce them either. There's got to be accountability in that, because otherwise you're just not. It's just a free for all, and that just doesn't work.
It's two things you hit on. One, the experience. Sometimes you'll go to a less than perfect establishment just based on the experience, right?
Mhm.
So I don't need you to hit 100 in every category, but if you in the 90 percentile, we going back, right?
You consistent. You know what to people, they want what they can expect.
That's
Where
why you get the same McDonald's burger in Detroit that you get in Tampa, Florida. And then secondly, like you said, I mean,
Well,
is
nah,
having those
you ain't
standards.
getting the same McDonald's burger. You may get the same Chick-fil-A sandwich, but that McDonald's,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Some of the fries cold. Someone got seasoning salt on them. Who put
But
seasoning
and it
salt?
comes down to expectation, like brands. And I don't want to. I would never. I don't want to shame anybody's brand, but there's some of those brands that you go to and you just expect that something's gonna be wrong with your order,
Mm-hmm.
but you still go back. But it's
Mhm.
like, don't put tomatoes on this mug again. I don't even know why I keep coming here.
Or my
But
wings are large over at this one, but then you go across town, my wings are small.
yeah,
So you know I got to go to the one on Waverly. You know what I'm saying?
because you went there one time and it was fire, so you was like, I'm just hoping
Mm.
I can get it like I got it that one time, because I
Man.
know you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Who cooking tonight?
Right.
Who cooking?
Is Mr. Charles
exactly.
back there? Is Mr. Charles back there? Because if Mr. Charles ain't cooking, I don't want it.
And the standards can be violated in the other way too, where you got Mr. Charles giving a little bit extra in his portions. He throwing a little bit of extra salt in the guac, so his guac fire. Like those are as egregious as somebody who's doing it
Wrong way.
with total disregard.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't even think of it that
be
way.
consistent. We got to be
Yeah.
consistent.
Wow. Yeah, like you say over there, like, nah, well, let me put some of this on it. Go on,
That's
girl.
facts. Because like when I used to work at the Waffle House, all right. For those who know, I could have got promoted, but yeah, I ain't want to do that.
It's not my passion.
So I used to as a manager, you were the cook as well. So there was the SOP was for like an omelet. It was like a ladle of a very small ladle, but a ladle of oil. That was like the standard for the cooking. But Waffle House was known as the greasy spoon. So I didn't like cooking with all that oil. So I would just like grease the pan and pour the rest out. But my food was fire. You know what I'm saying? I would get tips and everything. But like you said, I wasn't following the standard operation. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it did help my food costs. And matter of fact, quick question to that. So we would get bonuses based on food costs, and like food costs would range between, like if you did like a 31, like 31 and lower, you would get a nice little bonus. But if you hit that 32 or higher, it was just like you basically just gonna get your normal pay. So how important is food costs, and why does that play a major factor in the success or the failure of your restaurant?
So we talk about, when you talk about making a profit in a restaurant, we always talk about big two. That's food and labor. Those are the two most costly expenses in a restaurant business. So cost of goods, food is expensive. 31%. I would take 31% right now if we could get that. But the way the world is working right now, we probably running 34, 35. Just with the cost of everything going up. So imagine, and I teach my folks this all the time. So we know that we got a 30 to 35% food cost on most of our items. When we do it wrong or we make mistakes, then we pay double for that. It costs us double. So then you lost, because I still had to pay for the labor. We still had to pay for all of the other expenses that are wrapped into running this place. So, mistakes are costly. Food cost is your greatest cost, because it's part of, it's just the cost of doing business. Those are the goods that we're selling. So we got to pay for them. They don't just give restaurants food to sell to the world. That would be nice. We would all be so rich right now, but you got to pay for those items, and they're perishable. They're highly sensitive to temperature and time. So you have to control it. It's really your number one responsibility as a leader in a restaurant, is control that food and control that labor. That's where you make an impact. And we bonus our folks off the same thing, off of their food costs and their labor.
Check this out, just to kind of switch gears a little bit. So let's kind of just talk about like an anomaly. So of course you know who Pinky Cole is, right? I'm a fan.
Love
You a
Pinky
fan?
Cole. Love Pinky
For
Cole.
those who don't know, she's the CEO of Slutty Vegan, right?
Mhm.
So tell me this, because to have a vegan restaurant and to do the numbers that she has done and success that she has accomplished, being very niche, like what do you attribute to her success? Because there's a lot of vegan plant-based restaurants starting to pop up, but hers is just like on steroids right now.
Yeah. And knowing Pinky Co's story, I think everybody sees the success right now without understanding what happened in the previous years, where she did, like I said before, she did the ghost kitchen, tested her products out. She started with a very small, simple operation, understood what the customer was looking for and grew it from there. And coupled with the fact that she is a next level marketer. I mean, the way that they present their product, their brand, it makes people want to stand in line for hours. It makes people want to get a part of it because there's like this fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was in line for 2 hours.
I went to the line after seeing it on their Instagram page. I was in Jackson, saw it on IG, or maybe I think Jay had said it. Jay said, Slutty Vegan's in town today. I had a flight to catch, but I saw on their page where they were at over there off Lakeland Drive. I drive over there. The line was crazy. I'm like, I can't miss my flight just to get this.
And this is Mississippi. Eating vegan in the sip.
But yeah, so as she expanded regionally, she owns Atlanta. She started in Atlanta. So everybody in Atlanta understands, and it's this thing, which is kind of like a driver in the Southeast for sure, right? If it's hot in Atlanta, it's probably going to be hot in most of the areas around here. So she built her business right around there, and then just strategically starts expanding to different areas, and she's incredible at it. I love Pinky Co. Her story is dope.
No doubt.
Word up. Hey, real quick, we got to plug the business, man. Tyrell Reed, that's what we're talking to, helping restaurant leaders double their profit and their free time. So he focuses on business and leadership development. Tyrell, tell the people where they can find you, baby.
Oh, yeah. You can find me on all the socials, Tyrell Reed Sr. on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can, if you want to work with me or you want to book a strategy call, you can go to workwithreed.com. You can go to tyrellreed.com to learn more about me. You can see some of the products. We have a book out that was published in January called It Doesn't Cost Anything to Be Nice. Really just building on the mindset that it takes to be a leader. So we have that available. We do free workshops almost every single month. It's all there. So if you follow me, I'm going to give you everything that I've learned, give you the whole game. And if you want to work together, we can do that too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Got that low battery on my iPad. Let's try it again. Oh, it's working.
That's right. Building leaders that build businesses, baby. That's what we do.
Get with him. The boy's nice, man. How long have you been in just the restaurant business? How long? Like,
I've been in the restaurant business for 20 years now. Yeah.
Wow.
20 years now. I've been coaching technically I've been coaching for about 15 years, but really starting to offer this program, and I can't even talk about coaching without giving a shout out to my dog, to Jay, because he saw my program when I was just doing it internally for my team, my coaching course or my leadership course, and he told me, T, you gotta do this for the public, because this is worth something. This is valuable information. So shout out to him. That was probably maybe 3-4 years ago when we had started having those conversations. So, really just working on building that coaching business. We've been live for a couple of years now. So we try to help people. That's what we on.
So let me ask you this, man. A lot of people feel like, why do I need a coach? A lot of people say, why do I need a coach? Why not just take the money that I'm going to pay you and do it myself? Why should someone work with you?
You don't even have to pay me. You just follow me. I'm gonna give it to you. You can get it. So my email, my leadership course, totally, it's free. It's not gonna cost you anything. The only thing that I would tell you, if you're considering hiring a coach, or you're considering, getting into any program, it's the accountability piece. You have someone that understands the game, has been through the ups and the downs, has learned all the lessons, and you get essentially a shortcut by working with somebody like that. But you also get a community and you get accountability that's wrapped up all into that, because most folks are not going to follow through on most of the plans or things going on in their head. I've done it. I bought coaching programs and didn't finish. I bought books and didn't read them. So because there wasn't any incentive behind it. There wasn't anybody pushing me. So getting into the right program can not only change your mindset, but change your outcome because you have hit it just a little bit harder.
And I like to mimic it to like kind of going to a concert and having VIP, because you get to skip the line, right? So coaching allows you, like, you in the back of the line and they're like, oh, you got the VIP tickets? Oh, come to the front.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like with the coaching, you get to skip the line, and the line is basically all the bumps and bruises that you're going to go through, you know what I'm saying, in the process of you trying to figure this out on your own, especially if you have no idea where to start. So by, getting with Tyrell and, learning the ins and odds, because there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to the restaurant business. You know what I'm saying? It's multifaceted with different branches as well and multiple trees, if you will. So I think
whole forest.
Yeah, it's a whole forest. You know what I'm saying? So if you're even thinking about it, or if you've been in a restaurant business and you've kind of hit a plateau, or you've tried and you failed, but that's your passion, now definitely you doing yourself a disservice if you don't get with my guy.
Yeah, and it don't cost you anything. I mean, to get on a call with me for an hour, let me take a look at what you're doing, understanding where you are in the game, or if you already started a business or you're thinking about buying a food truck or doing that. It's that hour that you spend with me will at least give you some insight on, what the next few years are going to look like for you. You should definitely do that. These guys are lucky we get to ride in the car and talk all the time together, but you can get on my calendar. We can do that. I'm happy to help people. I do it all day, every day.
And it's a cheat code, right? You have 3 entrepreneurs and on the mic right now. If
soon to be 4.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Word up.
He ain't gonna be around here long and just not do something.
Corey over there making the questions like, well,
you know what I'm saying? He gonna do something. He gonna make some beats. He gonna fry some chicken. He gonna
hey, I'm like Brandy. I wanna be down.
No doubt.
Because it's a great opportunity. You know what I mean? And so if you could go back, I even throw it at Jay. If you could go back from where you started, and let's just say you found a coach that was going to, charge $5,000 to teach you or call you to the front of the line, would that $5,000 investment 10 years ago have been worth it?
Oh, absolutely.
That's why you need a coach. That's why you need a coach, right? Because like T was saying, Jay was saying, I'm gonna pull you to the front of the line, right? So you're not gonna have to, you're gonna be right there with them people, and it just front loads you significantly, goals wise, where you should have been, right? That's why you learn how to ride a bike from somebody who already knows how to ride a bike. 2 people who don't know how to ride a bike should never teach each other how to ride a bike.
So you got a pedal down there. That look like it might be something we probably should use.
So you don't put it backwards. Oh, because that stops your progress. Okay,
I liken it to this because you talk about the price and stuff like that, and I think that's irrelevant because we go to school for like 4 years. Some people go to school even further and pay almost $100,000 for a degree, especially if you're becoming a doctor and you in school for 4 years
minimum.
So you hiring a coach to do something that you're passionate about, you're basically getting a master's degree for like 90% off. In the field that you exactly want to do. Because I went to school, I ain't know what I was going to do. I was out there.
Are you in your major?
Well, I got a degree in business management, so
sure.
That would be a negative.
Exactly.
Even if I would have got it in finance, what I teach in finance and what they teach in finance as a major is not what I teach. So.
Right.
And JSU is still like, don't forget about me, right?
Oh yeah, they still want. I still send them a little something. You know what I'm saying? But because I did not from a financial standpoint, but just from a maturity standpoint and a networking standpoint, it was definitely worth it. But I wish I would have did it for free. That's for sure. Because Sally Mae is the last one who's gonna get paid. But
and we're not. And what I want people to understand is, I got a coaching program, and we have, we all have coaching programs, and we teach people. But I have a coach. Like, I'm in programs and I'm learning and I'm teaching and
Facts.
I'm bringing this all back to help the people that are connected to me. So, you get a cheat code or an advantage by just being involved with folks that are pushing themselves to be, to get to the
Correct.
next level and reach higher heights for sure.
Coaches have coaches.
Better. If your
Get
coach
you
ain't got a coach.
Get you a coach that got a coach.
Yeah, I think, and just to chime in on it, it's all about like being obsessed with progression, right? Not being perfect, but progressing and learning every day. You should be trying to get 1% better, whatever it is. So if that's reading more, exercising more, or like you said, investing in yourself. That's what I hear you guys talking about, getting a coach. Okay, this person is gonna teach me how to perfect, this skill or this craft that I'm passionate about. So that's an investment in you. Long run, if it's 2 years, 5 years down the line, you've learned something, or you should have, had something that you could take away to replicate in the market, or you go out and build something, or even give it to your family. At the end of the day, you learn something, you can invest in yourself. So with that, I want to drop a quote by my boy T. Reed, because the man is deep. Like I said, you need to get into this, but this is what the boy said. You know what I'm saying? He said, the past is your lesson. Learn from it. The present is your gift. Appreciate it. The future is your motivation. Get to it. Go holler at your boy. Go holler at your boy.
Let me go ahead and steal that and put that on a meme real quick.
I mean, the boy is very passionate on TikTok. You need to go follow him. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, he be dropping it. No doubt, no doubt.
I think that might have came off Twitter.
Hey, yeah, it was. Yeah, you dropped it on Twitter and then you repurposed it for TikTok, and it was dope. I caught it on TikTok, so it was pretty dope. And before we end, I think we got a this or that. Jay, if you got that queued up.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So I got a red door, blue door. I'm the finance guy, so it's always related to finance. But so blue door, go back 10 years and fix all of your financial mistakes. Go back 10 years from now. Red door, $2 million in cash right now.
I'm taking the cash on me.
All right.
Look at see, look.
Hey, but we need some controversy, so everybody can't be the same.
All right. So why are you taking the cash?
Wait, what you said? Fix all my mistakes from 10 years
ago? All your financial mistakes.
My financial mistakes.
Blue door. Go back 10 years.
10 2 million ain't enough, son.
Fix all your financial mistakes, or red door, $2 million cash right now.
I'm taking the milli, baby. I'm good.
You taking the cash?
You taking the cash?
Done.
He said, "Cut the check." Why are we talking?
Right? Because I don't know. Fixing those mistakes. I mean, what's return on my investment? I don't know. Am I saving money? Is that what we saying?
I mean, whatever you deem as something like
I would have bought this. I would have bought that.
Yeah.
I would have spent that somewhere else. So give me $2 million right now. And I'm good because I made those mistakes and I've learned from it. And now I can use this $2 million to butter them up, baby.
So you say about 35 miles.
That's a good point.
35 miles.
That's a good point. Yo, T, what you doing?
I'm gonna go back and fix them. I feel like there has been choices or decisions that definitely will be worth probably $100 million today. Just thinking about
you making some big mistakes in the back of that.
I mean, small
mistakes
in the moment that would have grown to just be worth so much more. So really, I think being short-sighted in my thinking then cost me a little bit more than what it was worth at that point. So yeah, 10 years ago, new dad, a lot going on, a lot of things moving. I just got into a new restaurant, actually one that ended up failing and closing. So I would go back and correct some of those mistakes because they would be worth maybe 100 million is a stretch, but probably worth 10.
No doubt. Bruce, what you doing, man?
Yo, that's hard. Right. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Okay.
He could take that and be like, man, I'm finna buy me a duplex. I'm finna buy this 18 plex.
That's
Turn
what
your
I'm saying
2 into
too.
20, your 20 into 40.
Ben.
See what that could be like.
And so here's why it's different, because I understand my business a lot better now.
Because you made those mistakes.
That's true. Okay, so for example, right, I'm in real estate. When the crash happened, everything along MLK was $10,000. Now they're selling for $150,000, $200,000. So if you just buy 10 of those, hold them, sell them, I mean, there's your bread. You know what I mean? You got 2-3 mil. But during the downside, like, I was still broke. Right. So was just because I made, man, that's, bruh, I'm gonna need a lifeline, man. I need to like, I need, remember like the old 8-ball where you had to shake it, like, if I go back, will I be any more successful? Try again later. I don't know, man. So knowing what I know now, I know how to use the 2. So I would probably take the 2 now, because knowing that I should have bought that doesn't change the fact that I couldn't afford it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I still didn't have the bread.
I downloaded it. I had a program to mine Bitcoin on my computer like 2.5 years before we ever invested in crypto.
Yeah, see, that's how that
we could have mined it when no one was doing it.
Yeah. Damn, that was a good red blue, bro. Like, so I don't know.
Hold on, what Jay say though?
Yeah, I mean, y'all kind of making me rethink my answer now. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, with the current knowledge, you know what I'm saying, you know exactly what to do with it. But I'm still gonna go back 10 years, because 10 years is a good bit of time for just the compounding interest of knowledge, because it's those little tweaks. You know what I'm saying? It's the little tweaks. And not to say that you would have made $1 million off the top, but some of the decisions that I've made, definitely, those small little mistakes could have definitely put me in a superior financial position. So, and I've made some mistakes knowingly. It's like I had the knowledge, but I went the other way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I had the knowledge on some of this stuff, and then I look back, like, damn, I should. So I'm gonna have to go back to 10 years and fix those financial mistakes.
That's a good one.
See, but it's like, I think it was Jay-Z. It's like you looking to be the butterfly without the caterpillar. That's why you need those. That's why you need those lessons.
That was Outkast, wasn't it?
My bad, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about rap, but I don't remember Jay-Z.
Yo, why Hov couldn't have it, dog? Like,
yo. I don't know too many. Like,
I could take it if Tyrell would have said it, but you like the Al Green specialist. So I ain't gonna hit him with the.
He was like, hold on, bro, you don't know nothing about rap. Let me tell you something about rap.
Oh, so we
that was Big Boy. My bad, Shane. Good.
Yeah. It's all good. I love you.
Look, he come through.
Let me ask you this, Jay. Let me ask you this, right? So, would you still? Because I think the only reason why I didn't take, you still don't have the financial means. So going back and changing, would that change? Because I started my business with $13K. So I can go back. I still only got $13K.
That's true.
And I'm just asking. Yeah.
That's true. So yeah, it doesn't change your financial means at that particular time. But like I said, if you're correcting every financial mistake that you made over the last 10 years, instead of ending up where you are now financially, you know, it's like the IUL. You never lose, but you just gain it just a little bit.
Yeah, and the lessons still get learned.
And the lessons still get learned, but you're just making better decisions per se. So it's like, to me, it's still a win-win, because like I said, instead of, okay, I got this 13K, I'm gonna start this business. Well, what if I, you know, in the process of you know, flipping this first house or what have you, maybe I hire somebody sooner so I can spend more time with the family, and maybe I'm not taking as much profit, but at the same time I'm getting better peace of mind, and I'm able to flip more houses because I got got a crew. So you see what I'm saying? So it's just
those
those little things that you think about now that, man, I could have started doing that on a smaller level. Because like most people think that they got to get like to $1 million.
Got rich today, yeah.
Yes,
No,
most people think they got to get to $1 million to live the life that they want to live, and that's not necessarily true. It's about the decisions that you make. Because, like for instance, if none of us had a mortgage right now, like that ain't making you a millionaire, but man, that show gonna free up some things.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna free up. That's gonna change your whole decision making process. Like, you know what? You know what I'm saying? So
yo, my man, give her 2 pieces of cheese. Hook it up.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You may have gotten that 15-year mortgage instead of that 30-year mortgage. You could have been out by now.
Yeah,
Who knows?
It's definitely thought provoking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's it. I'm glad that worked out.
Word up. Hey,
things that make you go,
things that make you go. All right, well, Tyrell, we appreciate it. Y'all know where to find them. So if you're looking to get down like 4 flats on the Cadillac, go holler at your boy.
Yes, sir.
And this has been another episode of That's on Everything podcast. Here to give you everything that you need and that you know, and that's on everything.
That's on everything. I thought he forgot for a second.
He was trying.
That's
put it on a sticky note right on his computer.
You know what I'm saying?
In the beginning.
We got you.
Hey, what's the name of this podcast again?
Nah, because I was only going to say that one piece, and I was like, I guess I need to say the tagline.
We gonna be sitting here waiting like.
If you want the latest news and the greatest views, tune into the Central Podcast, the one of my favorite crews, because the entrepreneurs who grew up together now